Right, hello again. Today we're going to tie a klinkhammer. This is an emerger pattern. It's imitating a fly that is going through the transition from being a nymph to being an airborne fly. And they're very helpless when they're in this stage of trying to, release the shut and break free. And fish know this, and when they're on the surface trying to do this, the fish love them. It's an easy meal for them. This is a great fly. I love fishing the klinkhammer. When you can see the fish up there taking things and you can't see what they're eating, normally a klinkhammer would do the business. And so far, this sort of very dark grey with sort of peacock thorax has been my most successful. But I've also tied these with yellow bodies, white bodies, jet black bodies. But this is my favourite. So in the vise, I've got a size 12 klinkhammer extreme by Partridge. Normally I use a 16 or a 14, but obviously for the video, 12 is easier to see, as I've said before. So we're going to start my thread about an eye length back from the eye of the hook, and I'm going to come down in touching turns, nice and carefully, using this waist piece in my left hand, using the waist piece to help butt every turn up against the next, or the last, I should say. And come down maybe halfway, maybe a bit over halfway. And then I'm going to come back up. And I'm going to, nice and neat touching turns, as I've said. And I'm going to jump on top of the horizontal piece, a few turns, maybe 3 or 4, and I'm going to tie in some, this is Aero Dry wing. It's great for wings on klinkhammers. It's quite a thick material, so I'll probably get rid of half of this, easily half of it. I don't need that much, so I'm just sort of splitting it. Oh dear, you can see I've split it in my hands to get the right amount, and then I'm kind of rolling it in my fingers to try and get it to behave itself. I'm going to make sure we got wax on the thread. I'm going to come round the back of the thread and I'm going to sit this right on top of the hook. I'm going to tighten with the thread. I'm going to come over 1, 2, 3, 4's plenty, making sure he's on top. And then I'm going to hold it in my left hand, do a turn in front, do a turn behind, and I'll do that twice. And then when I come around with this turn, I'm going to come on top. And I'm going to start to wrap up that aero wing. Now this can be fiddly, and it does take patience. It's always trying to fight you. If you notice, I'm pinching with my left hand every time I come round. Just pinch and come round, pinch and come round, until I've got, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 mil or something. And then I'm going to come back down. I'm going to do the funny figure of 8 maneuver, making sure he's on top. Have a good look at him. I'm happy with that. There's your wing. There's your wing. Now I'm going to come down with the thread all the way down till I'm opposite the point of the hook. It's about there. And now we're going to add some dubbing. Now, the abdomen of this fly, this is mole's fur and rabbit fur mixed together. And it makes this lovely dark grey dubbing. And oh, it's just an amazing dubbing. I love this stuff. This is just rabbits that I've got myself, moles that I've caught myself, etc. And I've just taken all the fur off. So we're going to run some of this mole fur up the body. All I'm doing now is just dubbing it onto the thread. Just take your time, little bits at a time, till you get a nice dubbing rope that you want. Like I said, this does take patience. The more time you spend trying to do things like wrapping dubbing around your thread correctly, the better your fly will turn out. Now, I'm going to come around with a turn and I'm going to tighten the dubbing. Come around with a turn, tighten the dubbing. And I'm going to do that until I'm nearer the thorax area. So here, and then I'm going to come round. Just going to come down a little bit. Stretch the dubbing out if you need to. Always thinking about the shape. Always thinking about that shape. I'm going to come up. I'm just going to add a little bit more there. I'm literally like tinsy wincy bit lacking. There we go, that's better. And now we're going to bring the thread all the way to just behind the eye, but not quite. And there's the body. You know, makes a great little body. It's lovely, tapered. Now we're going to tie in our hackle. Now this is just a grizzle genetic hackle. Size you want to be roughly maybe a smidgen over the gape of the hook as to how long these fibres are coming off of this feather. And I'm going to take some away, some of the fibres away, leaving the stalk there. And I'm going to tie that stalk in. I'm just going to add some wax on the thread because, well, you know, everything's better with wax. Everything grips better. I'm going to catch that feather on, side of the hook. Come on, he's just trying to fight me. There he goes. I'm going to wrap that up. Now, I haven't taken away enough fibres there because you need to wrap this stem up the post. So, whoopsie-daisy, you've got to be careful. You're using very light wire hooks, you know, and you're using fine threads. Anyway, now we're going to post that stalk that we uncovered up the post. Now, I like to have a little bit more than you probably need hackle on a klinkhammer. So wrap back down again, you know, touching turns or as close as you can do. End with your thread at the end of the body, and we'll just see how this is sitting. There we go, that's fine. That's fine. So now, I think Hans originally tied his thoraxes with peacock, but if you watch my videos, you'll know exactly what I'm going to use here. And this is just my peacock dubbing that I've blended myself. So we're going to dub this onto the thread. And we're going to go sort of figure of eighting around the post. So we're going to come over. Now you need to ignore your hackle for a moment because it's going to get in the way and it's going to annoy you. But just like I said before, just have patience. Just have patience and all will be good. We'll come around. We're going to come up and end with our thread at the eye of the hook. Now we're going to come around with a hackle. So we're going to come around. One, oh, how many was that? Can't count. There we go. Mind your wing out your way. Come around once, twice, every turn underneath the other, 3 times, 4 times. I normally do 6 or 7. Let me have a little look. I'll get away with another one. You can always trim the hackle off. You can't add it back on. Once you've got enough, we're going to sweep everything out the way. We're going to bring the feather over the hook, pinch it with our fingers so it stays, come round with the thread, catch the feather, 1, 2. You can add some wax, move everything out of the way again, and really make sure that feather's tied in well. And then, I'm sorry if my fingers are in the way. And then we're going to come in, trim that hackle away. Any fibres you've got there that I just missed, then just come in and get rid of them. Just mind your thread out of the way. Just come in, get rid of any inherent fibres you don't like. And then we're going to go back to my peacock dubbing. We're just going to add a little bit more on the thread. We're going to come round, just come up that body a bit, and it kind of hides the thread. I mean, you can whip finish over, you know, around the post, but I actually find this easier, believe it or not. Just gonna have a look. I'm happy with that. Got a big long fibre there. Just ignore everything at the moment. Don't worry that everything looks a bit of a mess and it's all everywhere. Don't worry about that for a minute. We're going to come in, varnish the thread. Nice bit of varnish on there. We're going to come in with a whip finish. I just like to whip finish plenty of times. Get all the varnish off. Bring your tool down. Tighten it up. Sort the fly out and the vise so it's all gone a bit funny. And then trim. Right, now you can come in and start messing around with the fly. Trying to sort everything that you just messed up. Get it all sorted. Now I'm happy with that. Now the wing, I'm going to make sure I've got all the fibres of the wing. I'm going to pull them rearward, and at an angle, I'm going to trim them about the length of the hook. There we go. If you have a look at that, I think that looks a little bit too long. So I'm just going to come in, and again at an angle, I'm just going to trim until you've got the wing looking how you want the wing to look. Though I'm happy with that. And there we have it. That basically is the fly. I mean, I can normally tie these a lot quicker, obviously. Doing the video, I've got to slow myself down and do things properly. But I love this fly, and I love tying this fly as well. This is one of my favourites to tie. So if I ever meet Hans van Klinken, I shall thank him for this fly, because she's a cracker. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Hope I didn't waffle too much at you. Again, if you did enjoy it, please do hit the like button, and please do subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.